Hi everybody, Tasha here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back, and to all of you new, hello and welcome. So today I have out my 3 Bonnie Brown boys. Yes, and we're gonna have a chat about uh, uh, counterfeit stolen sculpts in the Reborn community, how it affects our sculptors, how it affects our community on a whole. So I thought these 3 boys would be appropriate. Now, if you're brand new to the hobby and you don't know who Bonnie Brown is, most of you will, but some of you may not if you're brand new. Bonnie Brown is the sculptor of many of our amazing reborn doll sculpts. But this here is the Liam sculpt. So he's a toddler reborn baby, and Liam was sculpted by Bonnie Brown. And here in the middle, we have Asir. And Asir is the Sally sculpt, also by Bonnie Brown. And then we have the infamous Levi. Everybody knows Levi, right? So, and this is Stellan Paz. And he is the Levi sculpt by Bonnie Brown. Can't miss those curled legs. Oh, so scrumptious. Bonnie Brown is an amazingly talented sculptor. I mean, her sculpts are just absolute masterpieces. And she is definitely one of my top favorite sculptors. In fact, I personally, because I've just kind of begun my journey in painting reborns myself after collecting for several years, I am looking forward to painting my first Bonnie Brown sculpt. So anyway, a sculpt is what the artist sculpts. They start from a lump of clay, and they're hand sculpted. When the sculpt is complete, the sculptor will send off the sculpt to be poured into, in this case for reborn dolls, into vinyl kits. Which is the head and the limbs, sometimes a belly plate. Asir has a belly plate. He just doesn't have it on. So that's kind of how it works. And the artist will, commission a company to pour a certain number, an edition or an open edition. But those kits will come with COAs, which is certificates of authenticity, to certify that they are legal copies intended to be reproduced for the artist. Now, years ago, this was great and wasn't such a problem. And, reborn dolls started out with ladies, taking like store-bought like Behringer dolls and, repainting them or adding paint to them and adding weight to them and things. And it kind of evolved from there into what it is now, where we have actual sculptors that, sculpt dolls from scratch, hand sculpt them from scratch, which is, it's just an amazing talent. So anywhere that, an industry is, booming and getting big and there's money to be made, well, you're, I guess, going to have some, stuff. And we have run into in the doll hobby where, usually it's, the most popular sought after sculpts, that wind up in the hands of the wrong people, that wind up either bringing them or sending them to factories, usually in China, that then take the sculpt and illegally reproduce the sculpt, usually in a lesser quality. Maybe they'll change a little tiny something around to get around copyright laws. They could just move a finger, or who knows. They just have their sneaky ways of getting around things. And of course they're producing a less superior. Not only are they producing something stolen and illegal, but they're producing something of, far less quality than, what we have here in the standards of, authentic reborns being, poured. So it's been kind of going on for a couple of years now, and a lot of collectors that, collect the dolls for the love of dolls, for the love of the art, and appreciate so much the amazing talent in the sculptors that we have, because we wouldn't have these sculpts. We wouldn't have a Liam. We wouldn't have a Sally. We wouldn't have a Levi. And we wouldn't have many of the other popular sculpts out there, like Saskia and the Maddie sculpt and many others that are being copied. Using Bonnie Brown as an example because it happens to her the most, I think. But it happens to a lot of other sculptors as well. It's happening. But Bonnie Brown's been like a huge target, and she has had so much stolen from her. If you see a counterfeit copy of one of her sculpts, it's not with her permission. It's not just a copy of her original where she's getting royalties or there's, permission given or anything like that. It's something that's stolen from her. They took the sculpt and, molded it. They stole it. And it's horrible. It's a horrible thing to do. Now, what these doll companies are doing, I know they've been after me for a couple years now. I have, a saved file of emails in case any sculptor or business ever, it might be useful ever for, lawsuit or anything like that. But they reach out to me on a regular basis and want to send me a free doll to review. And meanwhile, these are, the companies that have these, counterfeit sculpts. So in the beginning, I would, chew them out and say no and whatever. Now I just don't answer. I, put the file away. And what they actually do, some of them do to me, and some of all of you, and artists as well. But they, I say no, I don't want to review their dolls. And they steal photos, my photos, and they steal my YouTube videos and put clips up for their advertisements. Because that's how they lure people in, with photos of other people's dolls, collectors' dolls of, very high quality, sought after artists' work. And that's what they're, posting. So they're stealing from us as well. They don't have permission to use my videos, use my photos. So, all around they're just grimy. I posted or reposted two clips from Bonnie Brown's Instagram. Well, you'll see this in the morning. So that I saw last night, that Bonnie Brown herself put up on her Instagram stories. That clip is on my community wall, my YouTube community wall, or you can just hop on Bonnie Brown's Instagram and see it, the whole thing for yourself, because it's one of several, it's 2 clips of several that she put up, you know, about how heartbreaking it is, you know, to have her work stolen, and even more so how heartbreaking it is, and this isn't verbatim, but that to see people in the community knowingly getting these dolls and actually, you know, advertising them. It's like, you know, putting it right up in their face, in the sculptor's face. And of course, she thanked everyone who supports her art, and, you know, that this is, you know, her hand sculpted, you know, work. And it's just, you know, to any of you out there that, you know, may ever encounter these companies contacting you, wanting to send you a doll. You know, they sound all nice and they make you feel good. And, oh, we love your YouTube channel and we think you'd be just perfect, blah, 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 you know, and, well, you know, it's just, I mean, it's a sellout. It's a complete sellout. It's, you know, I've heard the excuse many times of, well, there's people out there that can't afford to buy the authentic kit. You know, you're talking about a matter of, you know, what, like a $30 difference? Whatever it is, difference. Doesn't really matter. You know, if you can't afford something, that means that you should go and help steal it so you can have it. I mean, that's what's happening for people that do that. There are so many, 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 many wonderful dolls out there from all different companies, all different types of dolls, not just Reborns, all different types of dolls in every price range, that for people that to buy and enjoy, that aren't someone else's work, that aren't stolen, you know. So, you know, I don't understand why. Why? For the sake of that you have to have a Levi so bad? You know, if you love, you know, and I'm just taking Levi for instance, because of course he's a sculpt that, you know, has been stolen. If you love this particular sculpt so much, have some appreciation from the sculptor that actually hand sculpted this entire sculpt. This is her sculpt, her vision, her hands, you know, her time, her blood, sweat, and tears, all of it. You know, this is why we have the Levi sculpt. You know, so appreciated it enough to go on one of the certified dealers' sites and buy the kit legitimately, you know. And if you can't afford to do that, then find a sculpt, find a doll that you can afford. You know, I just don't get the whole part where people think it's all right to steal or help along stealing, advertise companies that are stealing in a doll hobby, in this hobby where we're surrounded by people that are enjoying the love of the dolls and the love of the art. Of course it's going to be upsetting. Of course you're going to have people that, you know, are going to stand up and say, we're not happy about this. And most of all, you know, it's everybody wants to rally together and support the sculptors that this is happening to, for our love of the art, our appreciation of the gift that they give us in the talent, you know, They could do something else in art in some other industry. They're here and they do see when collectors sell themselves out and will, say what a part of the community they are, and, what a doll lover they are, and they just want to have fun. And, the sculptors, the artists, they see when people like this sell out and, bring in a stolen sculpt. I mean, they see it because not only do they watch us because they're probably also doll collectors themselves and they love seeing everyone enjoying their sculpts, but they are also looking to see what collectors, think, reviews on their sculpt. Like, they're always wanting to sculpt the next baby to please everyone. Does everyone like, full limbs, 3/4 limbs? Does everybody want more smiling faces or sleeping babies or tiny babies or big babies? They're doing their job. They're caring enough of what we want. I mean, so you don't think that it hurts them? It does. It's not some people think it hurts the sculptors. It does. The sculptors are really, thank goodness, starting to speak up. I am glad Bonnie Brown put up a post thanking everyone that does support her art and explaining how devastating it is to her to see collectors in, quote, this community that would knowingly buy or advertise, companies that are actually stealing from her. They are stealing. They are taking money. She's not getting paid for what they're doing, and it's taking a piece of her heart. This is art. It's art. Our hearts and souls go in to the art. I'm not a sculptor. I don't call myself an artist. I only started painting in March, but even before I started painting, I had a deep passion and love for the art. I had a deep connection. Those of you that have been with my channel know, like Mr. Asir here in the middle is like truly the heart of my Reborn collection. He came to me very early on. He's by Kimberly's Cocoon. She's a very, very special artist to me. And the energy that I get from the sculpt and the way the sculpt was brought to life in his artist's vision, it speaks to me in a very deep and almost spiritual way. I just like to say magical way because it's the fun and the magic in it. And that's okay. Y'all don't have to appreciate like the hand sculpted, hand painted art the way that some of us collect. But there's tons of companies that make dolls. Adora, Paradise Galleries, Ashton Drake, just to name a few. And off the top of my head, I mean, there's other baby doll companies. I don't know if Lee Middleton's still making dolls, but there's tons of realistic lifelike baby doll companies that have their own sculpts, that produce their own sculpts. They're not stealing anyone else's work. That you could legitimately buy less expensive, that's not, hand done everything art. If that's not what you're into and you just want a baby doll to enjoy, you have that. You can go down that avenue. There's a place for everyone in all, price brackets, as I said. But how can anybody say there's a place for people that are literally helping steal from the hands that sculpt for us, for them, these amazing, amazing, works of art. It's stealing right from their hands, right from their hearts. It's exactly what it's doing. It is not the same as, a knockoff Coach bag or knockoff Chanel. Our sculptors are not big commercial companies with a commercial product that can be made in a factory. They are small businesses with handmade products. That's the bottom line. There are small businesses that we are all connected to through being in this community, in this hobby. So if you're here for, any short amount of time, you start to get to know the sculptors, the sculpts, who they are, who sculpted, what kit, what sculpt, we're connected to them, and they're just small businesses, people. It's, it's like selling out your small local business in your neighborhood that you want to make better and you want to support, like standing in front of their business with a, big picket sign, you could get a lesser quality, of this, if you order it from China and, whatever. It's something of the sort is what I'm saying. It's just, again, they're not big commercial businesses, these are coming from people's hands and hearts and minds, and those who choose to share a beautiful gift with us. I just can't even express in words the talent of Bonnie Brown and so many of our sculptors. I mean, Liam, he's a masterpiece. I've said this a gazillion times. This sculpt is an absolute masterpiece. All of her sculpts are absolute masterpieces. And I'm looking forward to very soon getting one of her babies on my table. I wonder who it will be. I'm kind of undecided. I have one here that's like a very, 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 very long sold out sculpt that a lot of you might not even know. But then I'm debating on like 2 other ones, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not putting this out there to cause friction or drama or whatever you all want to call it. I'm putting it out there in support of Bonnie Brown and all of our sculptors. That's the bottom line. And I'm sharing with you all, a lot of facts, some of my opinion, and, what I see with my own 2 eyes and hear with my own 2 ears, in, how it truly does affect and hurt this entire community on a whole, and most importantly, our sculptors. That's not fun. That's not dolly fun. It's like, I always say, like, do whatever pleases you, do whatever, as long as you're not hurting somebody else, that is hurting someone else to deliberately get dolls from companies that are stealing, and you really have possession of stolen work. That's what it boils down to. That is a fact. If you look at every one of the COAs on these sculpts, it says right on there that copying that the sculpt in any form is illegal, punishable by law, you know, the whole schmeal. It's right on there. It's totally, totally illegal, you know, and I hope the law catches up with these companies. You know, I hope the law catches up with everyone involved in it. You know, if you're knowingly participating in a crime, you're guilty of that crime, period. You know, so this isn't my opinion. It's not just what some people think. It's right there in black and white. You know, so if you don't want to look at morals, and everybody has different opinions of or what morals is or whatever, look at facts then. At least look at the facts. All right, everyone. I'm going to wrap it up here because I've been yammering on. Bonnie Brown has a YouTube channel. She posts every once in a while. She posted some great videos on Laura and how to, I guess, what do you say, rig or do a little MacGyver with the body if you want to bring the legs into like fall in the sculpt's natural position, and then something else with the vinyl and behind the knee. So, you know, cool stuff. She does post, you know, on her YouTube. I think she's been a little more, you know, lately in these days. And good for you, Bonnie, that you stood up, that you're saying something, because I think that it's really important. Like, you know, we can shout it from the hilltops, us collectors. And people will always argue, well, that's what you think. You know, that's, you know, what you think the sculptor feels. It's good for people to see how the sculptors actually do feel and how it's affecting them. Because I am not here to shame anyone or berate anyone or attack anyone. I'm here to talk about an important topic in our community. And I really, really hope that some of you all that are doing it will find it in your hearts to take a second look, or even a third or a fourth look, to just take a look again and reconsider it for the future for what you all are doing. And also to have a little bit more understanding of why a lot of people in this hobby feel this way and want to support our authentic artists and don't want to see them actually being stolen from. All right, everyone. There is always a link in the description down below in the video to follow me on Instagram as well if you would like to see pictures of all of my babies. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I have videos go up. And of course, if you like the video, give it a like. And if you have a social media platform of your own, share in some way. Share this video, share Bonnie's post, you know, share something letting, you know, especially Bonnie Brown, we love you. Just make a post, we love you, Bonnie Brown, tag her, share something, anything, just to, you know, go on the positive side instead of, you know, going, you know, all the way to the other side. And, you know, we're never going to control what other people do. Try as we might, can't control what other people do. We can only control what we do and what we say. So it's coming into the new year, so I'm just making a suggestion of uplifting, positive, entering into the new year, really supporting our sculptors, our artists, and one another. All right, everyone. Till next time. God bless.